Andrew, did you just...
You're wiggling the camera so much.
I'm not. Just don't touch the table. It'll be fine. I promise.
Listen, we don't know what we sound like. Ronald's got some headphones
Ronald
in.
says we sound great.
He says we find great? We sound great, Tim. We are in the lobby.
And we're also...
We're better together.
Look at that wide shot. We're better together.
We weren't together last week, but we are together this week, and it turns out we're actually better that way. Better together.
We've missed you. If you're currently in session at the Youth Pastor Summit, Levi Lesko is probably shouting at you.
Maybe.
Or he's leaning in.
If I go like this, I can see him on the TV, but it's fine. It's cool because it's Monday morning, which means...
That's true. Yesterday was Sunday.
This right here
is the morning after.
It's the morning after.
Welcome to the Morning After Ministry Show, a caffeine-fueled look back on the week and ministry that was.
Well, we're here. This is what we do on Mondays.
I feel like we're almost whispering.
I don't want to talk too loud, but I think it's coming through just fine.
There's a whole lot of people within, a couple hundred feet of us, so...
We're sitting just a few feet away from several thousand youth pastors.
We debated going up to the top of the balcony and just whispering during the session in the room, but the lighting just wasn't right. And you know how Tim is. He didn't want to do this if he didn't look pretty. So,
but Andrew, I'm excited not just to be here with you, but I brought my youth pastor.
You brought Todd. I invited Ronald.
Ronald's here, but Todd, I think he's in session as every good youth pastor should be.
He's paying attention to the world-renowned speaker and not us. I'm a little offended.
I mean, he's doing his job. He's furthering his education.
There you go.
Later, we will be partying at Universal Studios.
I will be going on some roller coasters, drinking some butterbeer.
You'll get your butterbeer. I'll get my butterbeer ice cream. That's why I come to this every year.
And it's going to be exciting. What wasn't exciting, Tim, is when you lied to us about the pool hours last night.
CJ says because his boss is there with him. Look, I thought the pool was open till 11. I found a Yelp that said the pool was open till 11.
On going out to dinner instead of going to the pool first. We could have done pool first for an hour and then gone to dinner.
I was very hungry.
Tim was incredibly hungry, so we missed out on the man jacuzzi time or man koozie time, as I like to call it.
We did. No, we did.
But we'll have to do that tonight. But Timmy, let's not talk about what's happening in the future. Let's talk about the week in ministry that was.
But Andrew, I feel like I need to tell you something first.
Okay. You're sitting way farther away than I am. I look giant. Lean back.
Do you want to lean forward?
Why
are you?
I feel like
Is it because you just saw a speaker who was constantly leaning forward while she was talking, so now you feel the need to lean forward?
It's that I have this microphone on, but I think the microphone's there, so I have to get...
And then as you talk, you can...
lean in.
Take a breath, and then you can continue with your thought. It's a bit more dramatic if you...
That's how I typically talk, Tim.
Pause while you speak, then you can connect with the audience.
It's a communication technique that you wouldn't understand, because when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And you like to yell at everyone.
I don't sit often while preaching. I know you do.
I do.
But speaking of preaching, Andrew, yesterday got a little crazy.
I want to hear all about it.
I didn't know that there were any tech issues in Lakeview land or Safety Harbor land, for that matter. I was entering into a time of prayer, and I could see my son
So, at the end of service, is what you guys have your prayer time?
We have a prayer time at the end of every service.
So first service, second service?
Second service. I don't know what's going on, but I guess someone might have tried to airdrop something.
I didn't realize that's what caused it.
I don't know. I didn't see it. Someone said that one of our massive displays behind me popped up and said, "Would you like to airdrop this?" or something like that nature, because I guess they're Wi-Fi connected TVs.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have to fix that. One TV was fine, one TV is not. I don't know what happened. I didn't hear about this till after service. I was super bummed because we had some audio guys that were literally in service that I love and know dearly, and they had to witness the tech blunders of Lakeview.
They had to witness the blunder of...
I'm just thankful nobody airdropped anything on this screen while I was preaching, although that could have been my son. Maybe he was attempting to do that and then felt terrible. I don't know.
That's really funny.
Patrick is He's in session. He says it's difficult to watch, read the captions, and listen to Lesko. So I'm here thinking this was the tech blunder of the century. There's no way this could get worse unless something had actually shown up on that screen. Thankfully, it did not. And then I get a text from you, Andrew.
Well, now if what I was airdropping to Ken Leslie's laptop during the last session would have gone up on the screens, that would have been the tech blunder of the century. I don't know if I wouldn't call what happened to us a tech blunder. I would just say that
things happen. It's because look, we're not on the same plane. Like, you need to scoot your whole chair back.
I'm not gonna move right now. I'll lean back like this. We had a major power outage happen during our second song. So at the end of the first song, we started to get some like snap, crackles, and pops. When I got to church, I get there usually 15 or 20 minutes after the band starts rehearsing. And they're like, yeah, there's something going on with the system. It's making some noises. And we've had issues, and we had bad storms this week. So it wasn't super surprising that there were issues.
Yeah.
But I was like, hopefully as we get going, things will clear themselves out.
A couple of pops here and there.
And it turns out that the issues that we were having did not go away. They were magnified in the service. So during the first song, there were pops. By the middle of the second song, there were more pops, and then everything went out.
That's not good.
And I'm thinking, did we just have like a catastrophic failure on our end?
That is not good.
Turns out that across the street where our power comes in to the church building, there was a squirrel who had been living in the power transformer.
I like where this is going.
That squirrel is no longer alive. It was major fried, and it caused a power outage for our entire block during the second song. So
your mid-worship set.
So yeah, mid-worship set.
You have not even got up to preach yet.
And so then I'm like, okay, what do we do? We have.
Thankfully, the band just kept going.
The band kind of kept going, but it's like,
what do you do?
What are we doing?
It's an awkward spot.
But then there's nothing on the screens.
Yeah, that's weird.
You've got acoustic guitar and drums is all you got at that point.
Yeah.
And so the band kept going. They finished that song, and then we have a time of prayer there in the middle of our service, but then we typically have another song after that. So I assumed that the band's going to do an acoustic version of their third song. So I run to my office to like grab a tripod to swap out where our live stream camera is to put up cell phone, thinking, we've got some people that we knew were going to be out. One person who was in the hospital who was like watching from the hospital. So we're going to try to get the service
You needed
live
the live
streamed.
stream. You needed the live stream.
I get back in with all the gear, and she's like 78% done with the prayer, and the band's not on stage. And so I'm like, oh, my sermon is starting in 1 minute and 15 seconds. So
you were very, very distracted.
We got it in
Sorry,
there.
Patrick's distracted. He just missed Lesko's hemorrhoid joke.
I mean, we could make some hemorrhoid jokes if you needed us to. They could.
Oh boy.
We could figure it out. So yeah, we had a total power outage, and then so I'm thinking, okay, so I guess no one's going to stay after church. Our worship center has a lot of natural light, but our fellowship hall, where we do all of the food time after church each and every week, there's no natural light in that room at all. And so, but also the band doesn't come up at the end of the service. And so I'm like, oh, I guess I'm like dismissing.
Is there usually a closing song?
There's usually a closing song.
Oh, this whole order is out of whack.
As I'm praying at the end of the service,
this is like a nightmare scenario.
The band is not coming towards me, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm like dismissing from here. And the people that had made food, they're like, hey, we've taken care of it. There's still food in there. And so we go into the fellowship hall, and they have set up like tea light candles on all the tables in the fellowship hall.
Oh, you guys had a romantic.
We probably had more people stay for food in the dark than we do on most Sundays, and we typically have 65-70% of our congregation stay after to eat together. And then about a half an hour into our food time, the lights and the air conditioners all came on, and we all laughed and said, hey, this was great. What a memorable Sunday. But about 2 minutes into the sermon, I was like, well, here's the deal. No matter what I say in this sermon, it will not be the most memorable part of this morning, so we're good.
That's
true. I
true.
can kind of do whatever. Everyone will remember the day that the squirrel flew out of the power pole.
The power died.
Yeah. But again, there was a squirrel that got projected from. So
like literally flew, flying squirrel.
So I'm in the back of the room.
Flying Dead Squirrel, new band name.
And a couple of the older guys at church go out to try to, man fix whatever's going on. And
Love
the
those
guy
guys.
comes in
Love
just
those
laughing
guys.
with a picture on his phone. He's like, the neighbors said, the last time this happened, it was a squirrel that caused it. And then as they were saying that, this guy came flying out, and he's just got a picture of a dead squirrel in the middle of the street. So, all for the glory of God. Dead rodents,
Wow.
all kinds of good things.
We had some good. We didn't just have tech blunders yesterday. We had some good things in service. We had a baby dedication, which are always fun. I love me a good baby dedication.
They're wonderful.
We said goodbye to a longtime member and volunteer, and I didn't know how else to. I don't know how you honor volunteers who are moving, like especially one who's been like an integral part of the church for many, many years. So we brought him on stage. We had.
Where's he moving to?
Georgia, just be with kids and
Yeah.
family. So we did like I don't know if you can do this at every size church. Maybe you can't, but
Probably not.
but for the size of Lakeview, it seemed to fit well.
Let's be real. How many times have you been at a church where you get an email that, hey, Pastor so-and-so is leaving, and
Yeah.
it's not even mentioned in the service?
That's true. But we brought him on stage. We prayed over him. We had a couple of cards that were filled out by his peers, some by the leadership team. We had a couple of
That's cool.
gifts in there. He actually texted me this morning, really sweet, made it safely. Just want to say, how much it meant to me to be, up there with you on that platform for just a few minutes. Because it was my shadow. It was the guy who would follow me around and make sure that I was kept safe. And yeah, he was also our grounds guy, facilities guy. So it meant a lot to just, honor him in that way. And I just thought, you know what? I love that we didn't miss that moment.
Yeah.
Because it could have easily just been an email, but we decided, you know what?
Yeah, you honor your
It was actually
people.
one of my elders who said, I think it'd be a good idea to bring him up and just honor him in this way. So I don't know how you, what are some ways you can honor your volunteers who served well? Maybe they're not sticking around forever. We don't typically do.
Well, and we're a very transient culture. People move.
You're a what?
Transient means people moving around.
I misunderstood.
Yeah. But as a culture, as a society, typically they say most churches change over almost completely every 7 years or 50. You've got about
Yeah, that's true.
25% of the people that are going to be there for forever. About 50% that every 7 years they're kind of going elsewhere, and about 25% are
Right.
in and out, just sporadic attenders. So chances are you're having lots of volunteers move on a regular basis. So if you're going to honor the ones that have been there for a while, you'll have more people hang on for a while.
You could be on stage with that wise, pithy statement.
Yeah.
I've heard so many tweet-worthy
full
statements this morning
of
already.
wisdom. But also I've airdropped shirtless photos of myself to other pastors, so it probably makes sense that I'm not on the stage.
But
right
Andrew,
now.
we're at a conference, so we need to have the conference talk. At what point is it too many one-liners? How many? If you're crafting a conference talk, how many one-liner takeaways do you want? How many one-liners do you need ooh, that's good? Or I was sitting next to Ronald, so anytime there was a good one-liner, I'd hear it was like, I call it the Ronald It's kind of like if he hears a good one-liner, Ronald's going to make sure you know.
It sounds a lot like cattle, but it's actually Ronald, yeah.
But as a speaker, you like those.
You
those noises,
You like the moves.
So if I get the mood, do I continue with the one-liners? Where do I cap it? I need to know.
I think if you can walk away with one sentence from each session, especially this where we have 3 or 4 sessions before lunch, because they're trying to pack everything in because they're taking us to Universal afterwards. So if you can walk away with one sentence per session, I think that's kind of a win. I know that guy.
I know. I look around and I'm seeing lots of dear old friends that we've known for quite some time. I don't know how much longer we can keep going here because this session's going to end and there's going to be about
1,000 people walking past us.
Youth pastors walking out. Ronald, this really is the question. How many times can you tweet during a session? It matters, right?
Yeah. Chad says he can tweet a lot.
Chad says he can tweet a lot. Chad, come on in.
You have to talk into our chest if you want to say
anything. Speaking to my chest, boys.
Chad, there's no need to yell. These are very sensitive microphones.
They heard me inside.
They definitely heard you inside. So when you guys are recording
security's out here.
Youth Ministry Booster, do you ever just put a magnet mic onto your T-shirt and
I just
lean into your iPhone?
I just yell at Zach.
There you go.
I think Levi Lesko might be angry about the amount of yelling that's happening in the lobby right now.
He just added an extra necklace out of
CJ
spite.
says, whoa, it's kind of like Andrew with a beard. You can't, he's on stage now. You can't, not while he's on stage. Oh my gosh. This is why, look,
And that's why,
we can't, we just can't. Andrew,
Timmy, I want to. We don't have a ton of time, but I want to talk. You have
no, we don't have a lot of time at all. Not only that, my battery is rapidly dying. The session's almost over.
Tim-
You took your boys to see an eclipse. There's
Yes,
so much to
I
discuss.
went to Arkansas.
On a whim.
Like on a whim. Bought
Because you
plane
can.
tickets and went to Arkansas because it's Arkansas. Nobody wants to go there, so it's fairly easy to get up there real quick. But you have Todd here with you.
I do.
We've talked a lot about what it's like to have a youth pastor serving under you now on staff, but you're showing him the ropes. You're introducing him to the peoples.
I'm showing him the ropes by not sitting with him during a session.
Yeah.
This is what senior pastors do, apparently. No, it's pretty cool. Like, this was something we've been talking about for a while. I'm stoked to have him here. And he's getting to meet you. That was like the main thing, was I need you to meet Andrew.
And
He's in a cohort with Ronald, so he's literally seeing one of his mentors in the flesh.
which is super cool.
It's awesome. And we get to hang out. We get some good content. We get some good theme parking, hopefully.
Also, there's more people here this year than there have been the past. When COVID happened, and I think we were registered for the 2020 YPS, and then that one obviously didn't happen.
We haven't talked about this yet, but is conferencing back? Like are people now conferencing more?
It feels.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, it was like, meh,
The room is way fuller than it's been. Like the first couple years that we were back in there, it felt like, oh, why did they move us out of the fellowship hall into the big room kind of thing?
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh no, we need to be in the big room for this. There's a ton of people here.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
So, and being that this is one of the few that I've been to pre-COVID and post-COVID, it's okay, this feels like we finally have the energy back that we had.
So is it finally time to host the Morning After Ministry Show conference?
I don't know about that, but it's funny. So
Never
I'm
happened.
going.
Why would we never do that?
I'm going to a denominational conference that you're skipping. Shocker. You're
actually going to that?
I am.
Wow, proud of
But I'm going Thursday and Friday morning. So, and it was mean. I shouldn't have done it.
It's pretty funny.
But they are lamenting the number of people that are opting to come virtually. So, because there's voting and meeting stuff that has to happen at this conference.
You need to be
and
there.
So the number of people who even like hold positions within the denomination are like, oh, I'll just come via Zoom and I'll vote via whatever. And so I think it's time to
CJ
revisit.
says it's ready to bring back the Practically Pastoring Conference. We were just texting the Practically Pastoring boys saying, look, it might be time.
There's people here.
Conference land has apparently
people
returned.
are ready for
the
it.
gates are open. Tickets are limited, apparently.
Yeah, apparently you can only give out so many theme park tickets, which is fine because I have a yellow bracelet, so I get one. But
There was a few years ago where they couldn't give out enough.
Yeah.
It was just, they had theme park tickets galore.
Our buddy Ken Leslie, who came down to hang out with us a few years ago, like the first year post-COVID, they didn't announce, hey, we're doing this, and so we didn't come.
Yeah.
And there were other stuff going on. I actually think it was like the same week as our denominational conference. And he said, yeah, they didn't say anything. And then the day of, they just said, surprise, we have tickets for everybody. And now they're telling people, sorry, only the first people to sign up actually got these things. So
I'm terrified.
It just means that people are coming back to conferences.
So what say you? Are you back in conference land? Obviously Ronald is. He's sitting next
What
to us at a
conference
conference.
do you wish was back? We were talking about.
I think we all know which one we wish was back.
How much we miss that, but
The heyday of NYWC, it's hard to bring that
what
back.
else? What other conferences have not been hosted since COVID that it's time to say, okay, let's do this
They
again?
could bring back a really good men's conference and then maybe bring in some speakers that may or may not get kicked out.
That may or may not,
mid-speaking.
gel with the ethos of the church. They could also have.
You could open the men's conference with like some wild
event planner.
Yeah.
Not a pastor plan the conference and be like, ooh, this will be a spectacle. Let's do that.
I think it'd be cool to bring like Cirque du Soleil
and then have
it open the
someone
conference.
who portrays himself as a theologian who really has less than someone with a minor in Bible from a Christian university in actual training rebuke the whole conference.
But what if the person hosting the conference then rebukes the guy speaking at the conference
From the stage, and the guy takes his ball and goes home?
You could do
That would be wild.
That's
if that
why
happened.
conferences need to come back.
Yeah, I think it's time to bring back conferences so we have things to tweet about. Do we still tweet? Do we X about?
We X about them?
I don't know. I
I've
don't
got
know.
nothing.
I think conferences are back. I
Conferences
think that's
are back.
the theme.
I feel like lunch is starting to get near because there's people starting to
we
brew.
can skip the lunch line because we're here already.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't know.
Just a thought. Tim, I say we wrap this one up and we are back in the regular studio space next week, and we do a full-on show.
We'll have a post-conference.
That's more than 25 minutes long.
Post-conference breakdown just for you. Maybe we'll get Todd on, and
Maybe.
he can let us know how his first ever official youth pastors conference was as a youth pastor. Like, how did it go? Are you sad that I left you alone for a few minutes?
Were you lonely? Were you scared? Why did you insist on the rollaway bed for yourself when we had plenty of room between the two of us in the twin size? These are the things that we need to discuss next week. So
we'll talk about all that and more.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
We miss you already. Ronald, did you want to say hello?
Would you like to speak into my chest?
He's literally been sitting right next to us.
It's because I love you guys, and these mics sound really good. I'm listening to you right now.
I love that.
That's what I like to hear.
It's working out great.
How do you sound?
Magnetic clip-ons.
I sound like I'm far away from the mic. I feel like
I should talk a little closer, kind of like this.
these mic. I'm jealous.
Look, Ronald won't be here. We will be. We'll see you next week.
He might be like online watching.
Could be.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see.
It'll be great.